Hi, Saskatoon. Let's talk about Indigenous fairness within the City of Saskatoon and soon to be in the greater P4G zone. City of Saskatoon is undertaking a project with other jurisdictions, including those within Corman Park, to bring in compliance and uniformity within the zoning bylaw. That should be important to some people if you pay attention. Right now, there are a number of First Nation holdings within the City of Saskatoon proper, but also close by that'll be affected once the city grows and other places like Martinsville and Warman expand. And to make sure that this gets done in an orderly fashion and we have development that fits into the greater good, there are a number of mechanisms that are put in place to deal with treaty land entitlements and urban reserves as they're created. The big thing to consider is what is included within municipal services agreement. And there's two parts to this, the fee for service and the bylaw compatibility. Fee for service basically means that urban reserves pay the same amount of money to the urban environment around them, the same as if they paid property tax. So that way, all the services are provided, all the streets are updated, and even though people think that urban reserves don't pay any property tax and they don't contribute, that is not true. They contribute just as much as everybody else does. And it's just convenient for some people to think that they don't. So that's the first thing. So urban reserves pay their fair share of taxes. The second part is bylaw compatibility. And the urban reserves, the First Nations have their own jurisdictions, but they have to comply with a number of things to deal with health and safety, building codes. But the specific one about the land use generally complying with the city's zoning bylaw is important because nobody is exempt from the zoning bylaw, except Prairieland Park, as it turns out. Prairieland Park pays no property tax whatsoever, and there is no grant in lieu and no service agreement there. So they pay nothing. They pay no income tax because they're considered a not-for-profit even though they've strayed from their mandate to become a not-for-profit. They pay $100 rent a year to the City of Saskatoon. That is the extent of their financial contribution. And they do not follow the City of Saskatoon zoning bylaw. So they are running businesses out on Prairieland Park's site and beyond. They go outside of their boundaries into this general city and compete head-on with small businesses, which could even be on urban reserves. And they're allowed to do so. CEO Mark Regier has got to be the worst racetrack manager ever because he hasn't successfully ran a racetrack anywhere. So he has single-handedly completely wiped out all horse racing in Saskatchewan. Yorkton, Regina, Saskatoon, it's all gone, including all of the Indigenous racing teams. 40% of them in the province now will have no place to race locally because of this. Yet he keeps all the gambling rights. So as he gathers up all this horse racing and all of these benefits that he gathered for ag for all these years, he was getting all of his gambling rights together for horse racing. So should he be allowed to have rights to any horse racing within the province of Saskatchewan, or should he be able to even bet on horse racing from other provinces once he's killed off our own industry? That should be the greater question, and that's not being answered. So besides all of these deals, they get a separate special deal that no Indigenous group within the City of Saskatoon gets. They actually hurt Indigenous racing teams. So why are we allowing this? I think the person that needs to answer this is Mayor Charlie Clark. And he's been dodging answering direct questions about this, and he pretends like there's nothing they can do, except the zoning bylaw is very specific about what they could do. The city solicitor doesn't want to answer the points that I've put forward that prove that the city hasn't been following the zoning bylaw. So why should urban reserves have to follow the zoning bylaw? Why should they have to pay taxes when Prairieland Park does neither? You got to ask yourself who deserves the better break here. Is it Prairieland Park or is it urban reserves? And I think you should come up to your own decision on that. And if you feel like me that something isn't right, I think you should reach out to Mayor Clark and possibly your own councillors and see what their answers are. Thank you very much. Have a good day.